June 6, 1944, in the darkness of night, 3,000 feet above Normandy skies, a C-47 transport plane shook violently as it pushed forward. Inside, 18 paratroopers, 101st Airborne Division, Easy Company men, sat hunched on metal seats, sweaty hands gripping their rifles, suspended in the air. Every time the plane shook, hearts seemed to stop for a moment. German flak guns filled the sky with fire. Anti-aircraft shells exploded around the plane. Boom, boom! And with each explosion, the metal fuselage trembled. First Lieutenant Dick Winters, 26 years old, sat inside the aircraft. His heart pounded in his chest. His hands were slick with sweat, but his face was completely calm. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath. Tonight, he thought, I'll either be a hero or I'll be nothing at all. The red light came on. The jumpmaster shouted, "Stand up, hook up!" All 18 men jumped to their feet at once, snapping their static lines to the cable. Hands were trembling, but no one hesitated. Green light. Go, go, go! Winters jumped through the door. The dark night swallowed him. When his parachute opened, he looked up. Canopy was good. But when he looked down, the sight resembled a nightmare. The Normandy sky was ablaze. C-47s were falling. Paratroopers were being shot in the air. Tracer fire streaked across the sky. Red, orange, white. A dance of death. D-Day had begun, and chaos was everywhere. Winters landed in a soft meadow. His knees buckled. He rolled forward, immediately reaching for his weapon. He looked around. Darkness, just darkness. No one was there. He cupped his ear, listened. Distant artillery. Machine guns, screams. But nearby, no sound. He swallowed. I'm alone, he thought. Where's Easy Company? Where are the 140 men? He gathered his parachute, pulled out his metal clicker, a little cricket-like device, the 101st Airborne's recognition signal. He gripped it tightly and pressed click, click. Silence, only the wind. He pressed again, click, clack. This time an answer came from the distance. Click, clack. A wave of relief washed through his chest. A figure emerged from the darkness. Private John Plesha, Easy Company. His face was covered in mud. His eyes were wild, but he was alive. Lieutenant, Plesha said breathlessly, where are we? Are we where we planned? Winters shook his head. I don't know, but we need to find the others. As they moved forward, they found more men. One tangled in a bush, one wounded in the leg, one in shock. By morning, they'd gathered 5, 6 men. Most of Easy Company was still missing. As dawn broke, Winters climbed to the top of a hill and looked out over the Normandy landscape. Green fields, stone walls, small villages, and everywhere the sounds of war. In the distance, from the direction of the sea, came the thunder of massive guns. Utah Beach, Winters murmured. That's where the real fight is. As morning light came, more Easy Company soldiers were found. Winters had managed to gather 50, 60 men. Half were still missing. They were exhausted, hungry, in shock. But they were alive. Winters looked at them. We survived the night jump, he told himself. Now the real face of war begins. Around 7 a.m., a French villager came running. He was an old man, his face wrinkled with fear. He was out of breath. Monsieur Américain, he shouted. He was speaking rapidly in French, but Winters could understand some words. Allemands, canons, quatre. He gestured with his hands, indicating large guns. La plage, ils tirent sur la plage. Winters' blood ran cold. Germans, guns, 4. Shooting at the beach? The villager nodded rapidly. He pointed to the hill, toward Brecourt Manor. Winters looked at the hill. From there, very far away, artillery fire came at regular intervals. Boom! 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 Each sound meant the death of an American soldier on Utah Beach. Winters ran to his commander, Lieutenant Colonel Robert Strayer, commander of 2nd Battalion. Strayer was bent over a map, his brow furrowed. "Sir," Winters said breathlessly, "there's a German artillery position at Brecourt Manor. The villager says 4 105 mm howitzers. They're shelling Utah Beach." Strayer looked up, met Winters' eyes. There was a moment of hesitation in his gaze, then determination. "Winters, you're going. Silence those guns." "Understood, sir. How many men should I take?" "Whatever you can find. But go now. Every minute men are dying on that beach." Winters turned, looked at Easy Company's scattered formation. Tired faces, blurry eyes, heavy equipment, but they were still combat-ready. 12 men will be enough," he murmured. Small, fast, smart. Winters gathered his men. Each one was a warrior, each with his own story. But this morning, they would all be part of one mission. Sergeant Bill Guarnere, from Philadelphia, tough, aggressive, loved a good fight. His brother had died at Pearl Harbor. He carried personal rage against the Germans. Sergeant Carwood Lipton, calm, reliable, thoughtful. Winters saw him as second in command. Private Joe Toy, strong, brave, quiet, spoke little, hit hard. Corporal Joe Liebgott, machine gunner, fast, smart. Private Walter Smokey Gordon carried a BR, Browning automatic rifle, heavy but effective weapon, and 7 more men. Total, 12. Winters looked at them, looked into their eyes. "Listen," he said in a calm but firm voice. "There are 4 German guns at Brecourt Manor. Each one is hitting Utah Beach. Every shot is one of our brothers dying on that beach. Our job is to silence those guns." Silence. The wind rustled the leaves. "How many Germans?" Guarnere asked. "At least 50, maybe more. Guns, machine guns, trenches." 12 against 50, Toy said quietly. "Bad odds." Winters smiled slightly. "That's why we're flanking. Frontal assault would be suicide. Side attack. We'll take each gun one by one. Fire and movement. Suppress and assault. Fast, smart, disciplined." The men nodded. Were they scared? Of course, but they had a leader, and their leader was going. Questions? Silence. "All right, move out." But what they were about to do would be taught at West Point for the next 80 years. Dot. They moved silently along the hedgerows, Normandy's characteristic thick bushes. With each step, they grew more tense, hearts racing, hands gripping weapons tightly. Winters stopped at the edge of a hedgerow, signaled quietly. The men crouched. Winters slowly raised his head, peered over the hedgerow, and saw. In the fields in front of Brecourt Manor, 4 massive German 105 mm howitzers were lined up. Around each gun, 6, 8 German soldiers hustled, shells being loaded, aim being taken, fire being executed. Boom! A gun fired. The shell flew into the sky, headed toward Utah Beach. Winters felt his heart accelerate. Not 50, he thought. There are more. Between the guns were trenches. MG-42 machine guns were positioned. The Germans had prepared this position well. Winters pulled back, turned to his men. "Listen to the plan," he said in a low voice. "Fire team, Lipton, Gordon, 3 more men. Stay here. You'll provide suppressing fire. Keep the Germans' heads down. Assault team, Guarnere, Toy, Liebgott, 3 more men and me. We'll approach from the flank. We'll take the first gun, then second, third, fourth, one by one." "What if reinforcements come?" Liebgott asked. Compton's standing by with the second wave. If we call, he'll come." The men nodded. "One more thing," Winters said, locking eyes with each man. "Today some of us will die, but if we don't silence those guns, hundreds will die on Utah Beach. We're 12 men who can save hundreds of lives. That's why we're going." Silence. Then Guarnere stepped forward. "Let's kill some krauts," he said with a grin. Winters gave the signal. "Fire team, fire!" Lipton and Gordon opened fire. The thunder of the bar filled the air. Rat-tat-tat-tat, the sharp cracks of M1. Garens joined in. "Pam, Pam, Pam!" The Germans were stunned. "Wo sind sie? Where are they?" They jumped into trenches, started returning fire. But Winters was already moving. The assault team, along the hedgerow, crouching, quickly, silently approaching from the flank. 100 meters, 75 meters, 50 meters. The first gun was in front of them. The German crew around the gun, loading shells, aiming, completely unaware. Winters raised his hand. "Stop signal." The men froze. Winters held his breath, listened to his heartbeat. Then he dropped his hand. "Now!" 6-1. Garans fired simultaneously. The sound of bullets tore through the air. Pam, 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 pam. The German crew was shocked. 4 men dropped instantly. 2 tried to run. They were shot too. Winters examined the gun. A massive thing. 105 mm howitzer, still hot, just fired. "Destroy it!" he shouted. Toy pulled out a thermite grenade, threw it at the gun's barrel. The grenade exploded. Whoosh! Chemical fire melted the metal. The gun was now unusable. "One down," Guarnere said. 3 to go." But at that moment, tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, MG-42, German machine gun, the fastest machine gun in the world, 1,200 rounds per minute. Its sound was terrifying, like tearing fabric. Next to Winters, Private John Hall screamed, shot in the neck. He fell to the ground. He wasn't moving. Winters' blood froze. "Hall!" But there was no answer. "Cover! Cover!" Winters shouted. The assault team dove into ditches, kept their heads down. The MG-42 didn't stop. Bullets passed over their heads. Tat, tat, tat. Winters pressed against the ground, couldn't breathe. "This is it," he thought. "This is where I die." But then Lipton's bar fired again. The MG-42 went silent. The Germans had taken cover. Winters reached for his radio. "Compton, second wave, now!" Compton's voice came through. "On my way!" Compton came running with 4 men. Now they were 16. Winters repeated the plan. Fire team suppress, assault team flank. Second gun. Guarnere lunged forward. "I'm going!" Toy and Liebgott followed him. The German MG-42 spotted them, opened fire. Guarnere hit the ground, rolled, pulled out a grenade, threw it. The grenade flew through the air, landed in the MG-42 nest. Boom! The MG-42 went silent. Guarnere got up, ran to the second gun. The German crew fired, but too late. Guarnere, Toye, Liebgott shot them down. Second gun destroyed. But the Germans launched a counterattack. 10, 12 soldiers emerged from trenches, firing as they tried to advance. "Fall back!" Winters shouted. The assault team retreated, but orderly. No panic. Discipline maintained. Third gun. This time, Winters did something different. He split the fire team in 2. They would fire from 2 different points. The Germans would be confused. How many are there? Where are they coming from? The plan worked. The Germans panicked. The assault team approached the third gun, captured it, destroyed it. Third gun done. Fourth gun, the last gun, furthest away, most heavily defended, Winters gathered all his strength. "Last push, all of us are going." 20 Easy Company soldiers, all together, assaulted the fourth gun. German resistance was fierce. MG-42S, rifles, grenades, but Easy Company didn't stop. Winters was running at the front. "Follow me," he was shouting. The men followed him, because he was their leader, because they trusted him. They reached the fourth gun, threw grenades. Boom, boom, boom. The German crew was eliminated. Fourth gun captured, destroyed. Winters stood up, looked around. Smoke, fire, dead bodies. But the four guns were now silent. He reached for his radio. "Strayer, sir. Mission complete. 4 guns destroyed." Relief was evident in Strayer's voice. "Well done, Winters. Well done." It had taken 2 hours. 12 men against 50 plus Germans. They had destroyed 4 massive guns. Easy Company's casualties: 1 killed, Private John Hall, 3 wounded. German casualties: 15 plus killed, 12 captured. That day on Utah Beach, hundreds of American soldiers survived because the guns went silent. That day at Brecourt Manor, 12 men did the impossible because their leader ran at the front. That day, Dick Winters demonstrated the most perfect small unit tactics in history because he moved smartly, bravely, with discipline. Today, in 2025, West Point Military Academy still teaches the Brecourt Manor assault. In tactics classes, they tell young officers, "This is how it's done. This is what leadership looks like." Today, thanks to Band of Brothers, millions know Dick Winters. They watched episode 2, saw that calm, determined leader portrayed by Damian Lewis. But perhaps most importantly, that day, June 6, 1944, 12 Easy Company soldiers learned what war was really like. Courage, fear, death, life, all together. And in the middle of it all was Dick Winters, the man running at the front saying, "Follow me." On January 2nd, 2011, Dick Winters died at age 92. In Pennsylvania, peacefully, surrounded by his family. His gravestone reads, "Major Richard D. Winters, Easy Company, 506th PIR, 101st Airborne." And perhaps, if you could listen closely enough, you could still hear, that morning at Brecourt Manor, Winters' voice in the wind, "Follow me." If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes the greatest victories are won by the smallest teams, and sometimes one leader makes all the difference. Dick Winters made a difference. Easy Company made a difference. 12 men changed the world.